This is the Lenovo Yoga 7i. This is a 15-inch 2-in-1 without a discrete GPU. Typically 15-inch machines tend to be for gamers or for developers, so you might find like a workstation in a 15-inch form factor. But this one it's a productivity machine, it's a casual use machine, and it's not very expensive. So this is not the full review, these are just my impressions, an initial tour of the device. We'll show you the ports, give you a walk around in a sense, and I'll talk about the specs. And then I want you to tell me what it is that you'd like me to tell you when I do my final review in the next several weeks after I test it out and play with it for a bit. So let's get started with the tour, and then we'll go from there. So first of all, let's talk about ports. So we have on the right hand side two USB-A ports, full-sized, and a power button. Get you a good look at that right there. There's the power button. On the other side, two Thunderbolt 4 ports and a headphone jack. This is a pretty thin machine. Let me give you an idea of how thin this is. Here's a pen. Pretty darn thin for a 15-incher with a 2-in-1 design. The 2-in-1s tend to be a little bit thicker than regular laptops. Along the back, we have the ventilation chambers and the hinges. Get a good look at those. So, I like this machine. I like the way it looks, but we got to continue the tour by doing the one-hand open test. It's a fail. I'm just letting you know in advance. Yeah, so that's really tight. I'll do some work on the hinge. I'll spend some time working it over. Hopefully that helps us out a bit. But for now, let's dive back in. So, keyboard deck is a full-size keyboard deck, which is very welcome. Thank you, Lenovo. This trackpad is positioned directly under the space bar. There is backlighting. It's probably 3-stage. It is 3-stage. And is the typical U-shaped keys from Lenovo. Right there. Full-size number pad on the right-hand side that blends in with the keyboard. I typically don't like that. I like a little bit extra separation. It's just so it kind of stands out. But I don't know if that really matters to most people or has any practical use. There is a fingerprint reader right here, but there is no Windows Hello sign-in for your face, only for the fingerprint. The display is 1080p. It's pretty bright so far, but I haven't done any testing on it. And I'm holding it upside down right now just to show you that there is a webcam here, and it's very hard to pick up on camera, but it has one of those think shutters. So you can, it's really hard to tell, but you can kind of slide your finger over, and now the webcam is blocked, so nobody can spy on you and, you know, watch you do weird things. All right, so specifications. This particular model has the newish i7 1165G7 CPU, which is a 2.8 gigahertz and turbos up to 4.7, has 4 cores, 8 threads, and 12 megabyte cache. This particular laptop has 12 gigs of RAM. I'm noticing that 1 in every 3 laptops or so that I get from Lenovo, I tend to get a lot from them. They're an amazing partner. They tend to be specs I can't find on the US store, so this might be for another region, I'm not quite sure. But English version of Windows is installed, so I tend to believe that it's just maybe for reviewers, I don't know, but 12 gigs of RAM. The 8 gigabyte of RAM model is the only model I found on the Lenovo website, and that one's priced at $1,150. So maybe this would be $1,300, I don't know. But that's a really good price for a 15-inch 2-in-1 like this. It's very cool. This does have the i7 Evo GPU, which is not a discrete GPU. It's I believe it's they call it like a IPU. It's part of the SoC for the CPU. So we'll do some testing on that and see if we can get any type of like decent gaming benchmarks off of it. I also have a 13-inch that I'm reviewing, so same thing, Lenovo, with very similar specs, except 16 gigs of RAM. So hopefully with that machine and this one side by side, we can get some tests and see how that all goes. So you tell me what you want to know about this here 2-in-1 from Lenovo, and I'll run those particular tests and benchmarks for you, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Definitely we'll test the battery life. You know, one last comment, that 13-inch I referenced is called the Yoga 9i, and when I did that benchmark, I was floored. I got 9 hours of battery life off of a video test, a looped video test. Really, really good. So anyhow, we'll get to all that with this machine. You let me know exactly what you want to see, and we'll pull it together. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one.